Let's go to Will in Athens, not Greece, Georgia. What's up, Will?
What's going on?
You never heard that joke before, have you? I'm incredible.
Definitely have never heard that one before.
My friends call me Chappelle Jr. Nobody calls me that, actually. What's up, dude?
Hey, so I've got a question, and I'm just going to straight shoot it. So how do I turn off anxiety alarms after a season of trauma? And then kind of the second part to that is how do I better manage trauma next time around? If it's cool, I'd like to give you some context to that and just not have a question.
Yeah, for sure.
So my wife, I'm 25, and my wife's 26. We were married in June of 2021. And so we got married and it was awesome. And then we went on our honeymoon, had a great time. We came back to kind of start our life. And then 2 months after we got back, I got a call from my wife, and she was in tears, and she had to leave work because she was having some incredible back pain. And so after some doctor's visits, we found out that she had actually hurt her spine when she was younger, but it wasn't that bad. But she works at a vet's office, and so she was lifting some animals, and when she did that, it ended up fracturing her spine.
Yikes.
And so for that entire fall, we were doing doctor's visits and trying to get with her insurance to try to solve the problem, but slowly her spine was slipping more and more, and so it was causing her more and more pain. And so by the time we got to January, she was starting to lose feeling in her legs. She couldn't walk anymore, and it got progressively worse. Luckily, we got surgery in that February of last year, and after the surgery, they were able to secure her spine. She had a great prognosis, but the doctors were saying that it was going to be about 8 months for her to recover back to normal. And so during those 8 months, I had to kind of help her do things like going to the bathroom and taking a shower and cooking her food and just kind of being a caretaker and taking care of her while she couldn't work. So we didn't have her income anymore. I'm a full-time student and I work full-time. So I had both of those going on. And just kind of, I just took care of her and just tried to meet her needs during that time. And then, we actually, so now she's recovered a lot and she's able to get back to kind of a normal life. She's been able to go back to work. And we're kind of coming out of this season of trauma. But I was sitting in class in January and I just had this feeling of like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm freaking out and my heart started racing. And it was just full on panic attack. And so I was in this lecture hall and I just kind of ran out of the lecture hall, kind of like a crazy person. And I was just kind of in the hallway trying to breathe.
Hey, right when you were saying that, I was thinking, welcome to the club, man. Welcome to the gang. You're not crazy at all, man. Not crazy at all.
Yeah. And so, after that, I just had like insane just health anxiety, just constantly in my head of like, I have this cancer and this cancer. And just kind of like what you were talking about in the last segment, I was just like spun out on looking up diagnoses. And my wife was like, you got to stop that. Like, it's driving me crazy.
Oh, I love it.
And I was like, you're totally right.
I love the one recovering from spine surgery is telling the healthy one, dude, you're going to have to just dial it back 30%.
She's like,
man.
You're fine.
Yeah.
But all that to say basically is that, we had this trauma and now we're kind of coming out of it and it seems like we're at the tail end of it. But now my body, like the whole time I was kind of like, I'm pushing through, I'm serving my wife. This is great. Mm-hmm. And now my body decides to spin out when it seems like we're recovering, if that makes sense.
That's right. Absolutely. So here's where I want you to start. Well, let me say this. You are 1,000% right where you should be. Okay? Right where you should be. There's nothing wrong with you. You're an amazing husband. She won the lottery with you. And probably you would say the same thing. You stepped up in a tremendous time of need. What a gift. And you laid some foundations to the homes that you and your wife are going to build moving forward that will be legacy shifting. Your kids and your grandkids are going to be different because of what you did in this season. Okay? I don't want you to lose that. It's huge. The place you need to start, both of you, but particularly you, no, both of you. I was going to say particularly you, but both of you are in the season, is grief. Here's why. All grief is the gap between what I hoped would happen, what I thought this was going to look like in reality. And dude, for a long time, you couldn't wait to marry this girl, right?
Right.
and y'all were going to rock it till the wheels came off. Y'all were going to be a dual income family. You were going to make this much money. You were going to live in this place. And y'all were going to travel to these places. You were going to do all these stuff. You're going to go to school, and you're going to do this. And everything fell apart. And so there's a part of your body that is continuing that narrative and trying to catch up to that narrative, trying to make that narrative happen. And there's the other part of you that is dealing with the day-to-day reality. I have to help my wife go to the bathroom because she can't move. And what a panic attack is, an anxiety attack, there are some physiological differences for this conversation that's not really worth digging into, but it's your body saying, hey, dude, I'm out. If you're not going to stop, I'm stopping us. And there just came a point when school, and as you were talking, here's what I wrote down. Middle of a pandemic, you got married. That sounds cool. That means you dated through a pandemic, planned a wedding through a pandemic. Awesome. A complete and total lack of control and autonomy. You watch somebody you love be in so much pain they couldn't move, right?
Right.
That's disorienting. That's scary. And for a lot of us, we've never had that kind of scary before until we see it for the first time when we're older, and it's disorienting. Tell me if this is true. After a year of intense caretaking, trying to be a good new husband, also going to school, when's the last time you started just hung out regularly with a group of guys?
It happens. It's just not as regularly as it used to be.
That's right. It's really easy to look up and suddenly it's 6 months, it's 8 months, and you're really lonely. Or you just get together and you all hang out and you're not, dude, I'm not going to get into all of what's been going on. And they're like, man, sorry. And you're like, it's cool, bro. And then you're off to watching the game or eating chips and whatever. And you're down that road. Like you're past the, hey, I'm not okay, guys. And so you find yourself lonely, financial insecurity. Y'all had some plans, right? And all of a sudden, this many doctor bills is a lot, right?
Right.
It's just piling up. Here's what I think would be really helpful for y'all. And here's all we want you to do. We want you to do a couple of things to show your brain that you're not running on fight or flight anymore, that you are in the driver's seat, that I'm in control now. I'm back. I'm here. And you can be in the driver's seat in the crappiest situations and not be anxious. That's the whole idea behind a non-anxious life. But I want you to spend some time, and it'd probably be good for her to do it too, to just write down, we thought the first year and a half of our marriage was going to look like this, and here's what it's looked like. And be real specific and real graphic. I never thought that I would have to wipe my wife. I did. A lot. I never thought. I thought showering would be different than it ended up being. There is a romantic shower, and then there's a therapeutic shower. Those are very different experiences, right? See what I'm saying? Like, I want you to be very specific about this. And if y'all are gangsters, read these letters to you, because here's the other thing. She's got a whole bunch of guilt and a whole bunch of shame that she should not be carrying either, right?
Sure.
Has she told you she thought she ruined the first year, or she can't believe you have to do all this stuff?
Right. Yep.
Is that true too?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. You see, and so listen, your body's just trying to get your attention that things aren't okay. This is less about responding to crises and more about, hey, we're not safe financially. We're not safe relationally. You're lonely. You have no control over what happens tomorrow. Sounding every alarm I got. And then you are such a hard driver. You're like, well, I'm going to grad school, so I got to go to class after my full-time job, after bathing my wife. And then your body's like, dude, we're out. It may be a season to take a semester off, to go in there and ask for incompletes and finish up next semester. It may just be time to give I did that multiple times through all three of my graduate degrees. Just took a semester off. It's too much going on here at home. Or it may be a time where you say, I got to hire some help, and you get some help. Or it may be, see what I'm saying? But it's settling into, okay, here's what we wanted this to be, and here's our reality. That is not going to happen. The thing that we wanted, we got to grieve it, we got to let it go. And now we get to build what comes next. And it may be that, man, I'd hoped to have a graduate degree, but how old are you? 25, 26?
25.
Okay, what are you going to grad school for?
Computer software engineering.
Computer software. Wow. Dude, you're really smart, huh?
I'm the logical. She is like the fun, creative, like, let's do everything and just be weird and crazy. And I'm the, let's stay in a line and do things by the book and build blocks.
Awesome. So that will kill you in this season. Acknowledging grief for you is loosening your grip on the wheel because you've clamped down on that sucker, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And dude, you're too good of a guy. The world needs you for you to die of a stroke or a heart attack at 35 years old.
Right.
And a lot of that comes from sitting in grief. I thought I could control everything, and come to find out I can't, and that sucks. And then looking over and saying, but I do love you, and I do love what we're building together, and we're going to build something completely new. I want you to write a letter. I want her to write a letter, and I want you all to read them to each other. And then here's the second part of the exercise. I want y'all to, I want you to write, okay, here's what happens next in the next 6 months. That's it. The next 6 months. Here's what happens next. And hold it very, very loosely and check in once a week, check in once a month for a little bit deeper dive. How's the 6 months? We had a plan. How's it going? How's it working? And she might tell you, how about we take the plan and wad it up and use it as 2-ply? And you can be like, that sounds great. But we're going to just say, okay, here's our new reality. And then in 6 months, we're going to plan a new one. Then we're going to plan a new one. And then we're going to plan a new. It's going to be an ongoing planning season. The idea that you're going to put us all on a spreadsheet at 25 and it's going to roll out when you're 75, that time is over. It's not going to work. And I'm glad you got to learn it now. Most of us learn that in our 30s and 40s. And then we think like we shouldn't be married. It gets caustic. You learned it young. Good for you, man. But I want to give your wife an opportunity to speak her guilt and shame that's unwarranted. And you look her in the eye and say, no. It's been my life's greatest gift to be able to walk alongside you. And I want her to be able to look at you and say, I know you had a bunch of plans and they're sideways. Let's make new ones. And let's do that together. We'll hang on the line. I'm going to send you both the first and the second edition of the Couples Questions for Humans. Y'all can sit around and chit chat with each other and maybe get weird. And dude, again, thank you so much for being a husband who steps up, for a husband who loves his wife, and for being brave enough to tell your story. A lot of us need to hear that. Gentlemen, let's step up.